So, Brexit is finally here. And as ever, we all have a ton of questions. So I'm joined by Seamus McCauley, Editor-in-Chief at Holiday Extras. And Seamus is a travel and politics commentator. So he's here to answer some of those burning travel questions that we all have regarding Brexit. Hello, Seamus.
Hi, India. Good to be here.
Thank you for joining us. So I think the biggest question is, what changes as a UK traveller come the 31st of January?
Great news on that one. Nothing whatsoever. On the 31st of January, Friday, we leave the European Union, so Brexit finally happens. From the 1st of February, therefore, we're no longer members of the EU, and you would expect that would mean a lot of changes for travel and for everything. But in fact, we go straight into a transition period, which was negotiated a couple of years ago and keeps everything exactly the same while we negotiate our final settlement with the EU. So during that period, which takes us all the way up to the end of 2020, nothing changes whatsoever, and people can travel exactly as they could before. So if anyone's going on holiday, nothing to worry about.
So essentially, got 11 months of things as normal.
11 months when nothing happens at all.
Cool. So why is it 20% of UK travellers are deciding they're not going to travel now?
Well, that's the interesting thing. We've been running a survey at Holiday Extras for the last 2 years, asking people every couple of months, how is Brexit affecting your travel plans? We've asked about 20,000 people now because we've run the survey for a long time, and the answer varies depending on the political situation. Last year in March and again in October, when there were Brexit days coming up, we got quite a lot of people saying, well, we're not quite sure what's going to happen after Brexit, so we're putting off travel plans, or we're cancelling travel plans, or we're travelling outside the EU. And that was perfectly sensible. Nobody really knew how those Brexits were going to work out, although in fact neither of them happened. This time round, people are once again concerned that Brexit is going to happen and something's going to change. But this time there's no reason to worry. We know what's going to happen. We leave the EU, we go into a transition, and everything stays the same. So this time round, the problem is 20% of people are saying we might not travel or we might change, but there's no need to at all. Everything's fine.
Okay. But a year goes by quickly, and what happens after that transition period?
That's probably the more interesting bit. After the transition, so from the 1st of January 2021, there's a couple of answers to that. One is that there's a negotiation going on. The point of the transition period is to give us enough space for the UK government to negotiate with the EU and decide how things will look at the end. So we've got 11 months during which we'll do that negotiation. And it's the nature of a negotiation. We don't quite know how that will resolve. So whatever is decided between us and the EU is what will happen after the transition period ends. But there's only really a couple of options for how people will travel to the EU. The absolute worst case is you'll need a thing called a Schengen Visa, which is what anybody in the world who doesn't have a specific agreement with the EU to travel there needs. So if we don't have any agreement at all, let's say we go out with no deal or a very thin deal at the end of this year, people going from the UK to the EU will buy a Schengen Visa. It costs 60 or 70 euros, it lasts for 90 days, so it'll fairly considerably increase the cost of a holiday, but it will still be possible to travel there and go to the beaches of Spain, Italy, etc. Best case, and the probably more likely scenario, is that the European Visa Waiver Programme will be agreed between us and the EU. In that case, this is a thing called ETIAS. You can buy it for €7. It lasts for 3 years, and that means we can pop in and out of the EU for 90 days at a time for the next 3 years on your passport. So that's a much better solution. And if that happens, travel continues pretty much as it was.
Is that quite similar to what the agreement we've got with the States?
Yes, it's not dissimilar to an ESTA.
Yeah.
So some countries will agree that they basically trust each other's governments and citizens to be sensible about things and say, rather than using the big whole visa programme, here's a visa waiver, you can just sign this and pop in and out for business or for tourism. And if we can agree that with the EU, which will require us to let EU citizens come here on the same basis, then travel to the EU from the UK remains very, very straightforward.
Okay, so what countries will be affected by this then?
So all of the EU 27 will be affected. Yeah. So that's the remainder of the EU, almost all of which are in the Schengen free movement area. There's 4 in the EU that aren't in Schengen, but they will be affected in largely the same way. There's then 4 countries outside the EU who are also in Schengen free movement, and they'll probably operate the same visa. So that's Iceland, Norway, Switzerland and Liechtenstein. And then there's 4 sort of tiny micronations, as it were, who aren't in the EU and aren't in Schengen, but you can only get to them through an EU country, so that's the Vatican, Andorra, Monaco and San Marino, where you don't actually technically need any of this paperwork, but because you can't get to the Vatican without going through Rome, you still need to do everything that you need to do to get into Italy.
Right, okay, I see. So, if you are worried about your trip and you want to know if Brexit is going to affect it, is there anywhere people can go to to see
Yeah,
about this?
we've built a tool to solve this very problem. So if you search on any search engine, Google for example, for Brexit holiday checker, or you go to the Holiday Extras website, you'll be able to see our Brexit holiday checker. And because we saw that people were concerned that, as I say, 20% of travellers were thinking they might not go abroad just because they didn't know how Brexit was going to go, we built a system where you can type in the dates you're travelling and the destination you're going to, and it will tell you on a destination by destination basis, this is where you're going, here's everything you need to know for your dates. If you need new paperwork, if you need to do anything special, here's all the information. So if you go there, that'll tell you everything.
Okay, it's just a really handy tool.
It should solve that problem, because we don't want people to have the hassle of having to put off a holiday because of a Brexit situation, which really isn't likely to affect it at all.
And if you decided, you know what, I just want to avoid anything to do with Brexit at all, is there Brexit-free countries that you can recommend, or what's the answer to that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's two answers to that. One is that there's 35 countries in total that will be affected by Brexit directly. That's the EU 27, the 4 countries in the Schengen area that aren't in the EU, and those 4 micronations. So that's 35 countries out of 195 countries in the world. So that leaves 160 countries on Earth that you can travel to without any problem at all after Brexit, because they're just not directly affected. If you want specific suggestions for completely Brexit-proof destinations, a few tips would be try Ireland. Ireland, while it is in the EU and Schengen, our rights to travel to Ireland and Irish rights to travel here are governed by a pre-EU protocol. So in 1923, we signed a thing called Common Travel Area, and we can still travel to Ireland using that, and they can still travel here, regardless of how Brexit goes. Iceland's another good option, because during the last couple of Brexit negotiations, the Icelandic government was very keen to sign a bilateral agreement with the UK, guaranteeing free movement between Iceland and the UK. So that's likely, regardless of how Brexit goes, to come up again. And then there's all sorts of places that are on the periphery of Europe that you can get to easily. A good choice would be Turkey. At the moment, you can travel to Turkey from London. You can fly in less than 4 hours to Istanbul. And the same visa system that you use now, which costs about $37, will be in place after Brexit, regardless of how Brexit goes. So if you want to plan a Brexit-proof holiday, regardless of how it all pans out in 2020, for 2021, those are 3 excellent choices that you can go to instead.
So we have options.
There's always options.
That's good.
There's always options. And again, it's not really going to be the case that however Brexit goes, there's going to be places you can't go.
Yeah.
Your worst case is a Schengen visa. Your likely case is the ETIAS visa waiver. So probably come next year, you'll still be able to hop on a plane, go to France, Greece, Italy, any of these places in EU, no problem at all.
Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure, Lydia.
Put my mind at rest, and hopefully anyone watching as well.